Across our region, constitutional democracy is under pressure. Since 2020, West Africa has witnessed successive military coups in Mali, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Guinea-Bissau, alongside attempted disruptions elsewhere. At the same time, contested elections, insecurity, economic hardship, declining institutional trust, and growing public frustration, especially among young people, have intensified pressure on constitutional governments that remain, like ours. As President of Sierra Leone and as Chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, I have witnessed these pressures very closely. I have sat in emergency summits after elected governments have collapsed. I have participated in mediation after constitutions were suspended. I've engaged leaders confronting insecurity, political unrest, economic fragility, and widening distrust in democratic institutions. So the conversation here today carries urgency. It also carries or requires honesty. I'm happy our young people have spoken so eloquently about the challenges we face. Because the greatest threat to constitutional democracy in West Africa is not only the soldiers who suspend the constitution. It is also about the slow erosion of public trust that makes citizens begin to doubt whether constitutional systems can still protect them, represent them, or improve their lives. That erosion of trust manifests in many ways, from disillusionment that creates apathy and low engagement with the democratic process, to support for military regimes that sometimes take over. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we see support among citizens for military coups in some West African nations, it is not that people have rejected democracy as an idea. What many people have lost is the democratic experience they have lived. They have lost faith in the democratic experience. We can see manifestations of that from our young people. They have seen elections conducted while hardship deepens. They have seen constitutions invoked while institutions weakened. They have seen public authority exercised without restraint, public resources managed without accountability, and public trust exhausted without concern. Democratic erosion rarely begins dramatically. More often, institutions weaken gradually through tolerated excesses, weakened accountability, and compromises that slowly become normalized until unconstitutional actors present themselves as the solution to failures they did not create, but are prepared to exploit. One lesson has been very clear to me over the years. Democracy is never self-sustaining. A constitution can be drafted in months, Elections can be organized in weeks. Institutions can be established by law. But democratic culture takes much longer to build. Restraint takes time. Public confidence takes time. The habit of losing elections honorably, governing lawfully, dissenting peacefully, and submitting to constitutional limits take time to develop. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, all of that can be weakened much faster than it was built. The real strength of constitutional democracy is revealed under pressure. When courts issue decisions government do not like. When elections are disputed, and when leaders discover that power still has limits. Democratic question in Africa, therefore, is not simply whether elections are held. It is whether African states can build political systems strong enough to command legitimacy without coercion. Survival